Gentlemen, welcome to the 2001 show, episode number 3. Tonight we have a handful of things that we'd like to discuss. Number one being our men's basketball team. They are tied up right now with Clemson, 61-61, with 7:45 left to go. If you are watching us, be sure to pull out that game and show some love to our boys. We want to talk about a few things tonight. We got a new OC in Columbia? Question mark. Kind of excited about that. We want to talk about that. South Carolina, they have locked in a Cheez-It Bowl here in December 31st against Illinois. And then we got a few thoughts on the Heisman race, although we know that Travis Hunter's already won it. We did not get to do an episode earlier due to some scheduling conflicts. We have some thoughts on the final CFP bracket and some of the games that we have coming up. But listen, if you are enjoying our podcast, enjoying our streams, be sure to like, comment, subscribe on Facebook, X, on YouTube. Leave a like, comment, subscribe there. Listen, grab a drink, grab a snack, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your people. The show starts now. Gentlemen, how we doing? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, baby. Come on now.
I'll
Come
feel a
on.
lot better if the Cox can lock in and get a W over Clemson tonight. But
I
other than that,
agree.
we're
I
feeling pretty
agree.
good.
I agree. Listen,
Boy,
we got a handful of things we want to get into tonight. So
facts.
today,
Hit it.
number one thing on the list, as we know, this last week, Coach Dow Loggins had accepted a job at App State to be their head coach, and we were in search for an offensive coordinator. And today, the Gamecocks have locked in Mike Shula to be his replacement. We hired from within. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on hiring from within and not looking outward, not trying to find someone on the outside to bring in. What are your thoughts on that?
Love it.
Per- I love it. Personally, I think this will be probably the best hire Beamer has made throughout his tenure so far. Due to the fact with Shula, you got a internal guy. He already knows the system. He knows your players. It's not going to affect recruiting. It's not going to have a. It's not going to disrupt the transfer portal, and you're not going to have guys leave because of insecurity. It was the secure move that was very professional. You know what you got, and great move by Beamer. I think it's going to be an amazing decision.
I agree. This is definitely the best hire we've seen him make, and you see the success Don Shula's had in the past. I mean, he's like an offensive mastermind, and I think him working with Lenoris is gonna make him even more, or is gonna stretch that talent even more. Like we see, he's talented, but like it's going to be seen a lot more evident across the country when you've got somebody who knows how to use that talent. I've always said Lenoris reminds me of Cam Newton, just in
Sure.
size and athletic ability. And you look at Don Shula, who coached the Panthers in 2015 during their Super Bowl run.
I mean, he was there. He was there from 2013 to 2017. I'm glad you brought that up because during those 5 years, okay, I was doing some digging. I didn't have time to do a lot, just with the wife having surgery and all. But during those 5 years that he was the OC for the Panthers, 3 out of the 5, they were top 10 in point differential. They were top 10 in not giving the ball away, plus takeaways on the defensive side, and they were top 5 in win loss percentage. I mean, when you
Nice.
combine those 3 out of the 5 years that he was the OC for them, they obviously, specifically that 2015 year undefeated run until they met Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Shout out my Broncos. Shout out
Yeah,
my Broncos.
shout out your Broncos. Until they met that Broncos team in the Super Bowl, those boys were, I mean, they were locked in. I mean, they were the definition of locked
Unstoppable.
in. I mean,
Unstoppable.
that offense was on a roll. The defense was playing their game. I mean,
They lost what, one regular season game that year?
If that.
No, I
Let
think they
me
were
see.
undefeated. I think they were undefeated that season.
Really?
I
Okay.
think y'all were their only loss. Uh,
Yeah, 'cause I think they went in like
Mike Jordan
15-0
shrug. I mean, anyways, listen, I think I agree with the both of you. I think hiring from within someone that has had the time to be around Lenoris, be around, Nick, Jared, Mazio, the O line, and now he's already in place with the kids that we had come in: Lex Cyrus, Brian Rowe, Malik Clark, all of these cats, Jordan Gidron, all of these cats that we got coming in this 25 class, which we're going to hit on later. He's already hired, already in, already knows the system, just going to make some tweaks, put his own little spin on it. I think, just personal opinion here, I think the offense takes another step forward next year, and we see,
For sure.
especially there again. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think we signed Jared Brown to a Garnett Trust deal. He'll be back
Huge,
next
by the
year.
way.
Yeah, huge deal. Having someone of his caliber back. When he was healthy, he was a weapon. When he was healthy, he was a weapon. Gigantic
Now
weapon.
you
I mean,
I mean, the thing with Jared Brown too, you give him another year to learn the system,
yep,
get comfortable, get
yep.
that Mike Shula or Mike Fuhr, whatever,
Yeah,
Fleur,
Mike Furry.
Furry, whatever it is. Y'all get what I'm saying. But you get another year under him to get developed.
Yep.
So that my thing is, everyone's talking about the transfer portal. We need a receiver. We need a receiver. We got Jared Brown as our senior, and then we got Nick Harbor right below him, which he's developing at a very nice pace.
I think
He's
this
going to be
off
a very
season will be
problem.
huge
Huge
for
for
Nick.
him.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending on what how much time he puts on his track plate and how much time he puts on his football plate, I think that this off season we may see a different Nick Harbor next year. Because I
Game
mean
changer.
I
We'll see a
mean we've
game
seen it.
changer.
Like we'll see one of those. Hey, we're just gonna throw him a screen and he's gonna take it 40, 50 yards down the field just because
I
he's
wouldn't
that
be
type of
surprised by
dude.
that, man. Yeah.
Same. I mean, Max said it best: game changer.
And
And
you
I
got
think he's gonna be
Mazio
that.
sitting right there, and
Yeah,
Mazio's a problem too.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
the
you
fact
get
he had that
him.
much impact as a freshman blew
Yeah.
like, that really surprised me. So, I think the wide receiver position's honestly gonna be one of the sneakier wide receiver groups in the SEC,
Well,
and I
you
don't think
also
it's gonna be as big of an issue as a lot of people think it'll be.
no. I mean, I agree. I think a lot of people are wanting us to go and find a bona fide wide receiver one that would help out in creating space and the blocking on the perimeter, because that was one thing that we have struggled with.
Yeah,
Um,
like that's true.
eh, but I mean, the truth is, a lot of our issue this past year was Lenore's not having a pocket. I mean, let's just be honest. And even up into the last game of the season, the only reason we won that game is because shout out 3rd and 16, because La Superman came out of nowhere and ran a touchdown for us. I mean, it just those kind of plays from Lenore Sellers is what put South Carolina over the top. And I think
Sure, for sure.
the fact that in the transfer portal already we have went out and done what we've done already, which we're going to get to, but the fact that they're targeting offensive linemen the way they are and looking for the players that they're looking for, um, I think South Carolina is going to do. I think they're going to shock the college football world next year because we already did this past year. But
For
I
sure.
will. I'm ready to see what Vegas has us at a win total for next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 5.5, because of how tough our schedule is. SEC is
Right.
always going to be tough, but listen, on top of Mike Shula being placed as our OC, they gave Mike Furry the reins to the passing game as the coordinator. NFL wide receiver for a handful of years. I mean, the man has been. I mean, look what he's done with our wide receiver core already. Look at the talent that he's brought in already.
I'm
And then
ready to see that type of change in the O-line room. It's
I,
year 5, Beamer. I need this O-line room to be stout. Like, it's getting I mean, I know some of our talent's young. I mean, you got Thomas, whatever. Josh Josiah Thompson. There we go. We got him growing, and then you got Big Tree. So, I
yeah.
mean, I feel like the O-line's coming, but it's like, dog, dude, it's causing us so many issues having that group struggling over the last 2-3 years. So I'm really ready to see that develop.
Well, and there again in the portal, they are looking at getting offensive linemen. We have
Yeah,
already
they
locked in Nick Sharp from Wake Forest, 6'2", 335 junior from Wake Forest. That's a big cat. I mean,
I think
Buddy
I
is
saw
gigantic.
I think I saw a stat on him the other
Big
day. It
duty.
was like 350, 400 plus offensive snaps. He's only given up 2 sacks in his career, like 400 snaps, which is what we need. I mean,
Yeah,
Looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's a
for
little on the
sure.
shorter side, but he has the weight, which is good.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
He moves some weight too. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I don't disagree. I think that adding to his plate, Beamer adding to his plate, like, hey, we need to lock in this offensive line. We have something special in Lenore Sellers. We have some special kids coming in our wide receiver core that we have targeted because they're playmakers. Um, the running back room, I don't think is going to be that big of an issue. I mean, we are targeting a few in the portal, some that are not on official visits.
No,
And
no, we
some
got
that
one that's
are.
on an
But we
official
got
visit.
one that's on an
Come
official.
on, dog, bro. If we get him,
Justice Haynes, let me
yep,
see you, my
just it.
boy. Let me see you in the garnet and black, my kid. But listen, I mean,
That would be massive for us.
yeah, for sure. I I think targeting some offensive linemen and getting that offense some help, we'll see an explosion on offense under Mike Shula. Also
Yeah, I agree.
today in those meetings, big news. Clayton White received a 3-year contract extension to remain our
Huge.
defensive
Oh,
coordinator.
really? I missed that. He got 3
Yeah,
years?
yeah, 3-year extension.
Clap it
Yeah,
up for Clayton. Come on. I
yeah,
didn't know he got
big
a
extension.
contract extension. I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think we're witnessing the rise of the Garnet Empire.
Yeah,
Um,
listen,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if during the next meeting that has to do with athletics, we don't see Sterling Lucas of the defensive line get a contract extension as well.
yep,
And
That's
they might wait till next year because I think he still has a year, maybe two under his contract. Um, but if we get, because we landed an edge out of the portal as well, freshman from Missouri, Buddy is 6'6", 265. He's the number 7 edge in the portal.
So he
Listen,
got a dog in him, bro.
Missouri Burners, even the Missouri D-line coach was having a fit on X earlier this week, upset that they lost such a talent on their team.
Now the thing is, this cat's gonna be starting, which kind of makes me wondering. Like, we're gonna have a pretty young edge group. Like, given
We
Dylan's a
are.
freak, so
We
it's
are.
gonna be a pretty young group though, which I don't know if that is cause for concern. We'll see. But I mean, if Brown and Dylan can hold it down though,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
we
Well, I
got
mean,
3 to 4 years of strong edge play.
we're targeting a few
Yeah, I know we got
guys.
some in the 2025 class.
Yeah. We have a handful in the 2025 class. We have some of them. I might botch their names. I'm not gonna lie. I know we have Jaquavius Dodd from Taylor's. He's 6'5", 235. Kid's a 4-star. Then we got Anthony Addison from Sumter. He's 6'3", 215. You got Donovan Darden. He's 6'4", 225. We got Tayshawn Alston from Henderson, North Carolina. He's 6'4", 204. You got Kobe Sky Prof from Roswell, Georgia. He's 6'3", 210. I mean, so we got a handful of edges that are coming in. Now, we also have a handful of defensive linemen, some defensive tackles that are coming in that are going to be a big help too. Us
Hey,
getting back,
that
us
Hardy
getting.
pool, the Xavion Hardy,
Oh
getting him is
yeah,
massive,
yeah.
dude.
We got to remember he
Number 1
was.
JUCO.
Yeah, he was committed to us, went to JUCO, committed to Mississippi State, and then flipped to South Carolina. Number 1 JUCO prospect from Macon, Georgia, 6'5", 260 as a defensive
Question:
lineman.
do y'all know how his eligibility works with him coming from JUCO? Anyone know
Not
that? Like, how
100%
many years
positive. I
he
think
can?
he has 2 years remaining, if I read correctly on 247.
Yeah, I would assume it's just the same as just like had he been in 2 years of like regular
Yeah.
college,
I think he has 2
like
years
That's my
fully.
guess.
standard college football.
Yeah, I think he has 2 years remaining. But yeah, I mean, you got
That's
Xavion Hardy,
pretty cool.
number 1 defensive tackle coming in. You got Christian Ingram, 4-star, 6'5", 280 from Covington, Georgia. Big get for the Cox here. You got Caleb Williams from Chesterfield, Virginia. He's 6'6", 260.
Hey,
Big
score
get.
update. Score update for the Carolina Clemson game. 76-69. Carolina up with a minute 38 remaining.
I need to tell you,
Clemson
Clemson just hit a
also.
bomb. Clemson just hit a
Yeah.
bomb 3.
Yeah, they
Oh
did.
god.
They did. It's
I
okay.
just
It's
watched
all
it.
right.
I'm
Listen,
I'm
it's
behind.
fine. It's fine. The boys are gonna lock in. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. The boys are gonna
Oh my
lock in
gosh, they hit
here.
another one. It's a 1-point game.
Dang, you way ahead of me.
And I'm screaming. It's fine.
It's okay. We're locking in.
Yeah, for sure. But listen, we back to the transfer portal. We also we also got I don't know if I said it yet or not, but we got 2 commits. We are working on a few that had official visits. Some have not. A handful that we're looking at. Andrew Jones, linebacker from Grambling State. That dude is a dog.
He's good.
A handful of people on X said he reminds them of Demetrius Knight a little, the way he plays.
I like the sound of that.
I said the same thing. Now I haven't watched any of his tape to be able to confirm or deny any of that.
God, we need a linebacker in this class.
I agree. I mean, I think Fred Johnson, JR, I think he will be good, like really good, because he played a handful of games this season. But all of our linebackers are young, real young.
It's more like for that seniority and depth. That's really what I'm going for when I say we need a linebacker. We need some age.
Mac, you were way ahead, but
my bad, brother. Studi from the corner to put it on ice. Studi from the corner to put it on ice.
Yes, sir. Come
20
on, kid.
seconds. We turning up.
Turn
Come
it
on,
up, boy.
kid. Attaboy. He's had a
Fuck
huge
no
night.
it, boy.
Yeah, he
He's had a
has.
huge night.
I
Big
think
Attaboy,
they
on the
said.
kid.
I think they
state.
said pregame that when Studi scores 10+ last year, we were 13-0.
And there's
Wow,
Dawn
I believe
Staley
it.
on the screen dancing her life away. Wow, what
Not
a
on my
shot.
cow with me.
Ice in his
Not on my
veins. Good
cow.
shot, kid. Listen, we have a handful of other people. I mean, we are targeting a few wide receivers um in the portal. Horatio Fields was on
That would
a
be
visit
huge.
today. Yeah, 6'3",
That'd be
205
huge.
junior from Wake Forest. Listen, one of the linebackers I'd really like to get is Tyquan King. He's from Dillon, South Carolina. He's at Temple.
Oh, bro. He a
He's
hometown kid for real.
yeah. 6'2", 212. He's a senior. He only have 1 year, but I mean the kid's nice.
That would be, I think, out of the names you've mentioned so far, I would be really happy with the Fields from Wake Forest. Get some size
Mhm.
in the wide receiver room. I feel like that's
Yeah,
something we're lacking outside of obviously Harbor, which he's a literal pine tree.
but he's a
Outside of him, we are
freak of
very
nature.
small. We're
Yeah.
very small at the wide receiver position. So I think Fields would be our best pool. Plus, we just got the cat from Wake Forest already. So
Yeah.
join his
Could help.
buddy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and elephant in the room, Justice Haynes. Actually, the elephant in the room.
Yeah, big
I
yeah,
would
elephant.
love that pickup.
Agreed.
oh, dude,
That would be another Rocket Sanders
is he
type.
really only a sophomore though?
Yes, he is. 5'11",
He's
210
not.
sophomore from Bama.
That'd be another Rocket Sanders type
Oh,
pickup. That would be huge for our offense, especially with I can't remember the guy who was I know Oscar's coming potentially
I low key
supposedly
liked
coming
Oscar in
back.
that Clemson game. That's the
I'm almost
first time I've
100%
been really
positive
impressed with
Oscar's coming
Oscar.
back,
Okay,
and
and what's
we
the guy
got
behind
Yeah,
him that's
Oscar's gonna
Jaworn
be.
that we have?
Howell. He's from South
Howell, yeah,
Carolina
he's going to
State,
be solid too.
and then Matthew
So
Fuller.
if we could get a three back
I thought one of
rotation
them
going,
left. Matthew Fuller or
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Howell. I thought who
No,
was
no,
it
no.
then?
Both of
I thought we
them.
lost
Both
a
of them.
running back.
No, we haven't lost a running back. We lost a wide
Okay.
receiver and then a tight end. A handful of tight ends actually.
Hey, what do
well,
y'all feel about Omega Blake? What
I
the fuck?
listen. I listen. I was in that X space the other night with shout out General Will and Q on X, Gamecock retweeter and a few of them boys. We were all in there, and I think Q was saying that Omega Blake was a kind of like a cancer in the locker room the last time he was here because he wasn't getting targets or something like that. Not sure how true of a statement that was. But what I will say is, if it is true, don't know if you would want to invite that back with a lot of young kids that we have, because Omega is a junior. But if he went to Charlotte and if he grew as a person and obviously as a wide receiver with a new wide receivers coach here, I don't think it would be a bad addition because Horatio Fields only an inch taller than he is, but he does have a size advantage in the weight
Yeah.
department. Um,
My
so I mean,
my mindset with Blake is I trust Beamer. Like,
agreed.
bring him back. He doesn't come back. I think it'll be one of those things. It'll be a team decision where the team votes on it. Just like
Yeah,
what's his name, the player that came from Florida State that came back.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like it's gonna be that type of situation where it's like, all right, wide receivers, rest of the team, vote on it. What are y'all's thoughts? Or at least let the captains or the seniors vote on it.
yeah,
And if he's serious about coming back, we'll see. But he had a year in Charlotte, so I think
yeah,
he. We'll
yeah.
see. I don't know if that
Another
transfers, but I mean, he's a junior now, so we'll see.
another guy in the transfer portal I'd really like to get Gabriel Brownlow Dindy,
hmm
defensive lineman, 6'3", 310 freshman from Texas A&M. That kid is
Okay.
huge.
I see you
That
got
kid is
listed
huge.
Chaplin, 6'7", 323.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
God,
yeah.
that's
From Virginia Tech. Yeah, buddy's huge.
I mean, I gotta take a trip to go watch some film.
I think we have him scheduled for a visit. Him and Derek Simmons, I think, are both scheduled for visits. Derek Simmons, offensive tackle, 6'6", 325. He's a senior from Western Carolina, but his film looks good, like really, really good.
Alright,
Um,
we got 7 seconds, up 3. was gonna say max
Yeah,
priority seemed
and
even.
we're shooting one more free throw for the game.
Yeah, I mean it's
Oh,
two
okay.
possessions at that point.
Come on, we own the
There's a girls
state,
team.
baby. Come on.
Let's get
That's
it,
so hype, dude.
I won't spoil it, boys. I won't spoil it when it happens.
Mac.
Hey,
What's
outside of
up?
transfer portal 2025 cats, shout out Cutter Woods and
Oh
Little
man,
Sellers, bro.
listen,
They
Cutter,
went
Cutter.
crazy,
What
bro.
was he? What was he? What 11 for 14, 6 tutties in the state championship?
Hit a state champion. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I was low
What?
key. I want to personally apologize for Cutter Woods because I didn't know you had game like that.
Oh
I
my
didn't know you were
gosh,
like that. Oh wait, what happened?
Oh no. Oh
it's
Oh,
no.
bad. It's bad.
uh oh. Oh
Oh
no.
The
no.
OT. We're going to
Five,
OT.
4, 3, 2. Oh no. Oh no.
It's gonna be a long night.
Boys.
Wow, what a shot! What a
Yeah,
shot
that
from the kid
listen,
from Clemson.
that's a clutch shot there. I mean,
Well, let me say was our problem last year. I know we're talking
Brutal.
football right now, but
It's all right.
that's been our problem in basketball for men. We
free
cannot
throws.
hit the free throws. They just missed 3 of 4 that would have put the game on
Takeaway
ice.
in this
What are
Brother,
we
game
doing?
brother,
specifically,
those are
takeaways are
free
gonna
points.
made
You
their
have
issue.
to hit those. Like
I think Clemson's missed 1 free throw tonight, maybe 2. We've missed like 12.
you
Come
have to
on.
hit free
Take
throws.
they. I know earlier I saw they had 16 points from just takeaways. I don't know what it is now, but that's another serious issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
not ideal at
Free
all.
throws has always been a problem with this team, and I'm like, just get on the line and practice. What are we doing?
I mean, you
Yeah.
missed 3 free throws in under 15 seconds to ice the game. That's an issue, brother. Like,
Yeah, like we've got to reevaluate something. I mean, we had a good class come in. We had the
Brutal.
talent last year. We shocked the SEC last year coming in. I was at the Kentucky game. We played lights out. I mean, I've seen what we can do. We know what this team can do, but
no,
it's
that
like,
shot was
what are we doing?
insane.
I mean,
So,
I
do
can't
y'all
On
even
the
think?
run. I mean,
Do
listen,
y'all think? Because
did
I'm
he
not.
call glass though? If he ain't called glass, it don't count. I'm messing.
okay.
I'm messing. I'm
If
messing.
Hey,
if
so
he
I don't
did,
know. I'm not as deep into the basketball world. Do y'all think it's a coaching or talent issue?
I don't think it's either.
Uh,
I think it's a they haven't had time. Half of our team has transferred in. I think it's a
yeah,
we haven't had time to develop. I really like what oh my goodness, Mont
all
is
right.
doing. Completely changed our program. We were bottom dwellers in the SEC
We ain't careful. You better pick it up.
for a good bit. But I mean, we started the season off slow. We're 7-3 now. But if you want to go into SEC play with feeling good, you got to win this game because SEC
for
play
sure.
starts in January. So got to lock in. I mean, I'm gonna be about this
Look
game
up for the
now.
best.
Yeah,
All right, back
they
to
got
the
to lock in.
Blazing Twitter.
Yeah, my
So
bad. I
I
just had to
gotta.
throw that
No,
out
you're
there.
fine. You're
No, it's
fine.
all good.
Listen. It's fine. Is
Everything's popped up.
there? So I have wrote down here our incoming 2025 class is. I mean, we got the kid Mike Tyler tied into flip from LSU.
Hmm.
Big get.
I
For Beamer and Co. We got that offensive tackle Demola Ajitahun from
Gonna be
Duluth,
nasty.
Georgia. Yeah, big flip out of Beamer and Co.
Yeah, he's got
Big
the
flip.
name. You got a name like that, you're gonna be a baller.
Yeah, but he gonna be a baller. Listen,
so I'm
little
curious.
Jaden Sellers, little puppy Sellers, he gonna be a problem.
Pump Sellers is a
Pup is
dog.
gonna
How
be a
big is he? Is he a big
problem.
dude? Is he like 5'11"?
No,
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 dude,
he's
he's
5'11",
small.
170, but Buddy is a problem on the field.
Okay.
Listen, like
He gonna.
Oh,
I
I
think
know
he's
he's
gonna
good. I
need.
just didn't know if he was a big dude or
well,
not.
I watched a handful of the clips from the championship game.
He's gonna
On
be our
this
slot.
guy's listen. When I say a problem, the same way uh Dalvon Campbell was this past year running those crossers.
We're locked in back in the game.
But
I'm gonna throw some little updates in there every once in a while,
no,
breaking
that's
in.
fine for sure.
We've missed 10 free throws tonight. We're 20 of 30, Clemson 16 of 17.
Yeah, you
Takes
can't win a
long
ball
enough.
game that way. You can't win a ball game that way.
And I can't
I
tell
ain't
you
Um,
the
gonna lie
amount
though.
of SEC games we lost last year because of free throws.
yeah, see, that's okay. I don't know. I
That's
don't know if I
true.
can agree if that's not a coaching issue. Then I mean, seriously, at some point you got to be like, all right, y'all boys can't leave practice until y'all hit some free throws. Like
Yeah, give me like 90 out of 100. Like, I
some got
mean,
to change. I mean, 90 out of 100 is a
or
wild, but
y'all boys
I
got to be
like
on the
it.
line.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
on the
See,
line.
I ain't gonna
because I
lie though. I
mean,
was doubting back to some football talk. I was doubting Cutter Woods like crazy, bro.
really,
I was, but I ain't gonna lie. I didn't watch any film, so this was like, I just looked at the picture. I was like, 3-star white boy. I didn't know his game. I didn't know, and
you
then I
weren't
was
familiar with his
proved
game.
wrong. I was not, and he made me familiar. I'm so used to Carolina QBs, or they're good, but they're kind of mid. It's these like 6'3", 6'5" white dudes that come from the middle of the woods, and it's like, you ain't Steven Garcia. Stop throwing the ball like that. All right, you throwing like 5 picks. All right, we know who we're talking about. All love to
Yeah,
him,
we
but
just ain't gonna say it.
I
we've
also
had a
forgot
lot
to
of
mention. Listen, Lex
what's that?
Cyrus, the flip from Penn State, that was a big
Dude, the
one.
fact we're getting recruits from Penn now.
Yeah,
What? No,
Harrisburg,
come on, man.
Pennsylvania. And then you got Malik Clark and Jordan Gidron, both Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Columbia. Both are 6'2".
Yeah,
Listen, that Brian Rowe kid, buddy, has got some bunnies. He is
does he?
athletic as all get. Yes, athletic as all get out. On his X account, he's got I think 2 or 3 videos. I think he's playing basketball since his football season's over. I'm talking about just yamming on people's head, like just posterizing
Dude, I
people.
want to see with these. You can tell Beamer had a point to make in this portal, and that's get weapons for the QB. And you can tell he made it a point.
And
Like,
reloading the defense. That's the other like that's got to
Yeah,
be a
that's what I
key.
was
without a
worried
doubt.
about because I thought we were going to continue this cycle of okay, our defense is good this year, our offense is bad, and then
Yep,
next
yep,
year our offense is good, our defense is bad.
yep.
But I think that's where Beamer really shines is the transfer portal. He's selling.
Mhm.
I mean, coming out of high school, these some of them are just trying to get paid, especially nowadays. I think Beamer though, he's got the Beamer magic or something. I don't know if it's like a
I don't know.
twinkle in his eye or something, but
Well,
those transfers.
well, the
They meet
thing
with
with
him, and they're USC. They're
Beamer
Gamecocks,
Magic.
baby.
Well, the thing with Beamer
Game
is
God.
he isn't. Beamer doesn't pull the Ole Miss move, which backfired
Yeah,
this year. And
Yeah,
because
it
Ole Miss,
backfired
they
in
were
Ole
just like,
Miss's face.
Ole Miss is like, we're gonna take everybody and your mama, and we're gonna pay everybody. Whereas, what happened? Oh, that's gonna be a 3. Oh, just yamming on them. Oh, what? Dang. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. I think we're
Beamer.
all.
I know, dude. It's tough. Beamer
Sorry.
is using the high school recruiting as like his base. And then all he's using the transfer portal is to fill in the gaps. Where teams like Ole Miss is like, we're gonna take everybody. Everybody with a big name, we're gonna take you and we're gonna see what happens.
I think that's where games that are trap games for Ole Miss came back to bite them. The
Because you
Florida
get that.
game, the
I don't
Kentucky
mean
game.
I don't mean this anyway, but when you get some divas. We got some divas playing football nowadays. Boys who just wanted to be about them. See it a lot more
Yep.
in the NFL than college. But when you have too many guys on a roster who it's me, 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 that's not going to work. It might work when you're playing Southern Miss or Mercer, when you're playing Alabama and Georgia and
Oh, my bad.
Tennessee.
Southern Miss and Mercer. Oh, my bad.
My bad, my bad.
My bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I got
mean,
place. I ain't gonna
I
apologize.
just Troy.
Dang,
I mean,
not Troy.
oh,
Why you gotta bring
uh,
Troy into this? Why are we
listen,
Bring
bringing
cause
Troy,
people
dude.
into it?
listen,
What
Why are
cause
we
Troy
dogging on everybody?
is?
they end up on our schedule like once every 3 years, and we end up
Okay.
like beating them by 40, 50 points every time.
I'm gonna
Dude,
say I'm not
I'm a
gonna say anything
certified.
after.
I'm a G5 hater. Low key, I need y'all to be
Hater.
y'all's own. I need the G5 be your own conference with your own national championship. If you do that, I would fall in love with you. But until then, you're annoying. You're messing up the playoffs. You're messing up people's strength of schedule.
Listen, if there was
G5.
a G5 playoff this year, Boise's running the table.
Oh, no question.
Yes, let him. I
So
need the
since
G5 to
we're
lock in, dog.
since we're talking about bowls,
Oh
um,
yeah, let's get that.
What we got? What we got?
Getting on a
I,
tangent, my bad.
let's talk about the Citrus Bowl. Okay, South
The
Carolina
Cheez-It
locks
Citrus
in the
Bowl, baby.
Cheez-It Citrus Bowl versus Illinois. South Carolina is 10.5 point favorites versus Illinois. Now listen, the only bad news potentially that we have seen is that there's a chance Kyle Kennard may not play in this game due to the announcement that he made that he's declaring for the draft. But
I don't
in
see him
that
playing.
announcement, I mean, I agree, but in that announcement, he never said, I'm not playing in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Now, Demetrius Knight came on a video or an interview or something I saw on X the other day, and he said, listen, none of us are planning on opting out. We plan on playing and proving a point because we are tired of the disrespect. We have much more to prove. We have a season to finish. What are your
Yeah.
Like,
thoughts?
that's the culture that Shane's building is we still got more in us. Like we've still got we were discounted before the season started. We were discounted when the season started. We were discounted in the middle of the season. We're discounted at the end of the season. I don't
Yep.
understand how what left we have to prove to people because I mean like we continually play ball. We play our style of ball, and I see what Beamer's building and what he's doing. But seems like we always have to show more for it to be effective for anyone to see it. So
Well, I mean, you're dealing with a team that feels disrespected, and I feel like that goes into it. I don't. That's why
sure,
I don't think we're going to see a lot of opt outs. I think the only player I would excuse and be like understandable opt out would be probably a Rocket Sanders at that running back position.
sure.
Outside that, you're dealing with a lot of disrespected guys, and honestly, I don't. I feel like Kennard still has room to grow his draft stock. Like going and playing in a bowl, outside of maybe the risk that's involved if you get injured, but that's going to be
Going
a
to get
risk if
drafted
you
if he
do
gets
it at
injured, though.
practice.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Like
he'll still
yeah,
get
I still think he's
drafted.
yeah. It just might. I mean, obviously, if he gets injured, it's going to hurt him a little bit. But you see my point. Like I don't think some of these guys are worried about the injury side because of the level of disrespect they're riding on.
Sure,
Like
for
normally
sure.
you see it from like wide receivers, you'll see a lot of opt outs or especially running backs,
Yep.
these risk prone positions. But when you have a team that feels disrespected and a bunch of guys that want to get that 10th win for like what would it be, the fourth or fifth time in program history?
Yeah,
No,
we haven't had a
I don't
lot.
I will say
Yet,
the only
yet,
issue I
not a lot
have
yet.
there is one
Yet.
benefit when yeah, there is only one benefit with Muggs opting out. And that's being able to see that young talent. I thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoy seeing these young bucks
Well, and
play,
that's
but I want
something
that
that
10th win, so I don't care.
yeah, that's something that I also thought about was like, are we like if we get up big against Illinois, in the first
When we get up big,
quarter,
when we get up big.
yeah, win. Because I'm also excited to see Mike Shula's offense. I'm excited to see.
And that's what I'm most excited about is to
Yeah,
see
of
what he's
course.
going to come out and run. I want to see
Uh,
some Beamer ball. I want to see a fake punt. I want to see
Yeah, we didn't see enough of that this year. I feel like the
we
only
really
time we did
didn't.
it, it backfired right in our face during the Ole
I
Miss
think,
game,
yeah, I think
and
it
we
was
were
because
scared
it
to do it
was.
again.
Yeah, I think it was just because it backfired too many times. I think it was
I feel
people are looking for it a lot. Shout out
yeah,
Beamer on the broadcast at the basketball game. But I just, I
hey,
think,
that's my goat,
uh,
bro.
I think whether they opt out or not, I think a lot of us are
Okay,
excited. Number one, to see how Lenoris and Co look on the offensive side with Mike Shula at the helm. What
right.
our what kind of other progress have we made in this time frame that we've been able to practice?
Hmm?
Um, what what does our defense look like? With Kyle probably being out, what happens with Nick? Eman Worry, is he coming back? Is he going to the draft? I mean, his draft stock's high. In 3 seasons, he's got 2 All-Americans, 2 all SEC first teams. I mean, he is him.
Right.
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
I mean, does he come back for 3 and 4 seasons? Does he come back to chase a national championship, an SEC championship? Does he go on since his
Well, I
draft
think the
stock is high?
question with that is how far do we see us going next year? One, I think we're set up to have a push next year, and I think the other big question is where is he going to fall in the draft if he does go to the draft? I
A
mean,
lot of people have him falling second or
seen
third day.
second or third, second or third day. So that'd be what, second to seventh round. I could see him third to fifth round. Is there any way we can pay him more
Than what he's going to
than what
make.
he would get as a fifth round draft pick?
Right,
At that
right.
point, I say yes, he would come back. But like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good to see. I'm hoping he's going to come back. I think
Same.
he's got the competitive edge to come back. You have him as a leader on this team.
That's
Well, I
one
mean, and
I
I
believe
think
we're
that's
making a
why,
push.
yeah, I think that's why you saw guys like TJ,
Mhm.
Tonka,
Yeah.
all of those guys that were, juniors, redshirt seniors that decided to come back and play their eligible last year decide to
Yeah.
come back. They wanted to come back and prove something that they weren't able to in years past. I mean, when you when you have these teams that have been, like you said earlier, Mac, inconsistent on one side of the ball, when you've been good on offense but not on defense and vice versa every other year, and you look at it in the off season and you're like, oh shoot, we might have a chance here.
Yeah.
Then you go. You say, all right, I am going to take my chance to see what we can do. And the truth, and I know we all hate talking about it and thinking about it, one blown call, one missed field goal, and one overthrow against Alabama away from being 11-1, locked into the SEC championship and locked into a playoff no matter what. That's the
Eight,
truth. I
eight.
mean, that is the
Insane.
truth. We are literally a penalty and or a field goal
So
away
nuts. Dude.
from.
It's so
I
insane.
mean, in the LSU game, you are a field goal and or a pick six penalty that got thrown away from shutting that game down and icing the game against LSU to take one loss and put it in the win column, and the overthrow at Alabama to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa would have been huge for Lenoris and co, especially for him being a freshman. But
We should be going against Penn State right now.
we
It
should.
makes me sick to my
Yes.
stomach.
We should be 11-2 at minimum or at maximum, I guess you could say. Minimum, maximum, whatever you want to call it, and maybe had a chance to win the SEC championship because the way Texas looked against Georgia, they were already technically locked in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we stood a chance to beat either one of those teams in the SEC championship game, especially the way we looked towards the end of the year, especially the way we looked against A&M. I think we beat either one of those teams. That's just the truth. Our defense looked stout. Our offense looked better than both of their offenses did in that game. But the cookie crumbled how it did this year. I think.
It did.
Nothing we can do about it now.
What an
Right. I
amazing year,
think.
though. What an
I know, right?
amazing season.
We're talking
Oh,
about what ifs at this point, and we went 9-3 after coming off a 5-7 season. I mean, we have a chance.
I'm so proud, man.
Looking at the schedule, I mean, I know Mac, me, and you, we've looked at the schedule. The way it's set up with our bye weeks going into certain games
We're gonna.
and
I was about
other
to say we
things.
can. We're gonna hit the sketty
No, no, no. I'm
probably in
just
another
saying,
episode. But
just
it
yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
good.
I'm
It
just
looks
saying,
good.
like initially, just a quick thought. And
Dude, it looks
looking at it, it looks, even with what we've seen other people getting out of the transfer portal, what we're looking at, what we already got versus what they got, the whole 9 yards. Truthfully,
I'm ready to give
I
a hot take, dog. I already have one that's
I
locked
have one
in.
too. I have a hot
I
take
might I
of,
might post it later.
listen, ceiling being 12-0, the floor
Oh,
being
9 and
10,
3.
9-3, 10-2, somewhere in that
That
area.
There's a specific game I think we're gonna win, and
One specific
I think
game.
I'm gonna say
I'm betting
I'm
you're
gonna
saying we're
say,
gonna beat LSU and LSU.
come on, dog,
I know
Yeah,
it.
come
that one.
on.
We're beating Ole
Dude,
Miss
that's
next year in South Carolina. No, we're
that one I
beating
don't.
Ole
No,
Miss. That's
in
my hot take.
Ole Miss.
So this is
Yeah.
okay. I'll give you my reason real quick because this is fun. This is why we started this podcast, is for conversations like this for the moment. All right. So LSU in Baton Rouge. I don't think we've ever won there. Is that what it is? Or we haven't won since like 1936? It's something ridiculous. If someone could search that up to fact check me. But from what I'm
I
tracking
got you.
in Baton Rouge, we've like it's been a very long time since we've won. And the point I'm getting at, Beamer has broken some form of a curse every single year. Year two, what was it? We beat Clemson at home. Year one, I already forgot, but whatever, we did well. But my point being is every year we beat Texas A&M. That was also, I think, in year two or year three of Beamer.
We
And
beat.
then this,
By the way, my bad. My bad.
no,
We
you're good,
beat.
you're good, you're
We
good.
beat LSU in Baton Rouge in 1930 and 1994. That's it.
Lord Jesus.
We
So you see
also
my
we
point,
also beat them in 1979. That's the only 3 times we've beat them in Baton Rouge.
dog. If I can bet it now, I'm slamming it. That is a
Three
lock.
times.
Beamer,
Let me just interject real quick.
it,
Clemson has the ball. We are up 2 with 15 seconds left after a garbage
oh
call from the
no,
referees.
Yeah,
It
that was
was
horrible.
not a blocking foul. Oh my
oh no,
gosh. We got to
oh
lock in. We
no.
got 15 seconds.
Oh
Can we
no,
just
your
get a
TV
live
cut off in the
reaction to
back.
this one? Oh,
Live
I got it on
reaction.
the computer. We're getting a live reaction on this one.
All right, just don't spoil it because you're ahead.
Listen, inbound.
I got 14-9, and he's about to get the ball right now.
There is
He has
3
the ball.
seconds left, and I don't have audio on. I
Oh
think we
no.
just fouled Clemson.
Okay.
Yes, they just gave them the foul on that.
Okay, so they are like
Well,
a whole play ahead of me.
Yeah,
so we
there's
just
3.7
Hey,
left,
time
and
just cut
Clemson
off.
got the
it's
foul.
it's almost better if they make both. Well, not make, but I mean, of course, if they miss one, we're good. But we got a timeout in 3.7 seconds. So if he misses
Lord
one,
Jesus.
if he misses the first one, we're really good. If he misses the second one, we're cooked.
Yes,
Could be cooked, not cooked,
could
but
could be,
they're
because I
putting
mean,
Nick
if
Pringle on the bench.
for who?
I don't know. I think he might have fouled out there. He missed the first free throw.
He's got 5
So
fouls.
he's got to miss the second one now. He's
He's
got
got
to
to
miss
miss
the
on
second,
purpose.
and we got to rebound. If we rebound, the game's over. Seth, I'm sorry if I spoil it for you.
You're good. I mean, you're ahead of me, but
I think
yeah,
CMB and
I
Nick
just
Pringle
now
are
watched
both
him
out.
miss.
Light work, no reaction.
I just now watched him miss.
Right, Clemson is going back to the bench to tell their guy miss
Yeah,
his free throw.
Oh yeah. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
Feeling good here, boys.
I like
I have
Murray
a
Bulls,
select.
by the way. He's kind of sick. Good cooking.
Got
do.
4 words I can't wait to say once this game's over.
And shout out Chloe Kitts or
I think I
Cots or
know
whatever it is.
Chloe
Yeah.
Kitts.
I
Oh
think
Lord Jesus. I ain't gonna say nothing. I got a fiance.
Dang. I was about to say, Seth,
I mean, I'll get
Whoa,
you
myself in
gotta
trouble.
lock in, brother.
whoa,
What are you doing? What are you
whoa,
doing?
It's okay. She in my top three. We're allowed three.
Somebody is sleeping in the dog house
whoa,
tonight.
whoa.
It's just jokes if you're watching the stream, babe. It's just jokes.
Let's see what we got. Free throw for the game. Well, to make it a 1-point game, he's got to miss this. So my question is, Seth,
Oh, this is awful.
if they
What's
miss
up?
this, they're just going to go for the tie and go for double overtime, right? Because you got 3.7 seconds, no
Yeah, I feel like you
timeouts.
have to. I feel like that's your safest bet.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what we do here. So he's all right. He's good. He's about to shoot it now.
All right.
He
Don't say
missed.
anything.
Oh, he
Don't say
made
anything.
it. He made it.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
We have a
Now I get to
timeout though. We have a
now I get to
timeout though.
watch. Time. Oh my. This is
Oh
awful.
goodness. It's the foul game now. We got to play the foul game. This last 3.5
All
seconds are
right.
going to be. We need this. We need this. This would be huge. Even BJ Mack's in attendance. Shout out BJ Mack. Gamecock
Uh,
basketball legend, bro.
Okay, so yeah, there's fouling.
We can win this game. It'll give us some momentum going
I'm ready.
into.
I'm ready for whenever Austin gets back. We'll go over, I think, our score predictions for the
Oh yeah,
first
for
week of the
sure,
playoff,
for sure.
or
Yeah.
at
Coming
least
coming up
we're gonna do our pick
next.
'em.
Yeah, stay
Right
tuned.
now,
Stay
we're getting
tuned.
live reactions. 89-88,
This
South
is
Carolina over
raw. This
Clemson
is
with
raw footage.
3.5 seconds in overtime. Mac is ahead of me. We got our TV on, and our laptops
Yep,
on, but
that's okay.
whatever.
My
I'm in.
we're cutting the.
I was gonna say, I'm in Central Time. I think you're in Columbia. Shame on
Yeah,
you for not being there, low key. But
I'm about 15 minutes from the
okay.
stadium. Yeah,
Oh, you should have walked to the stadium and talked to like the vendors, dude.
I should have.
Or to get a
I could have. Okay,
talk to
okay,
the
okay.
streetwalkers.
Not gonna
See if
say
you can get a
anything.
free ticket.
I'm just gonna wait till you react and then
Oh
we can
God,
talk about
dude,
it.
please don't miss this free throw. Sweet Jesus.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
Hey,
Oh my
icy.
gosh, and he nailed the second one. We have
That's
3.4
game, bro.
seconds.
That's gonna be game, right? Oh
I'm
wait,
not
let me knock
hey,
on wood.
after that
I
last
know
shot,
better. I know better. I know better. Let me
don't
stop.
foul
I
him.
knocked on
Don't
wood.
foul him. Don't foul him. We run this state. We
Oh
run
my
this state.
God.
Let's go.
We
Times
run it.
3, baby. Football, men's
Let's go.
basketball, women's basketball. We run it all.
Oh, watching. Oh, let's go.
Love it.
Storm the
Love
court.
it. We
Everyone was
run this
doubting us.
state. We
Everybody was
run this
doubting us.
state.
We needed this win, dude.
Yes, we did. That's huge for our program. Uh, I think going into, we've got a couple more games on the schedule. I think they have a little break during Christmas. And then January, we get thrown right into SEC play, and the
And
SEC
the
is
SEC.
tough this year. Oh
Evan,
my
I don't watch
gosh.
basketball like that. I ain't gonna lie, but per TikTok, the SEC is apparently the most stacked league in the country, and it's not
They
brand
are in
bias this
every
time.
other sport. No, let me pull up a SEC rankings right now, the standings, something we can dive into until Austin gets back. Um, it's
I
it's
heard
interesting.
it's
I believe Tennessee's number one in the nation.
that
Tennessee
makes
is
didn't
number
they
one
weren't
in the nation.
they the ones that won the Natty last year, or they won it in baseball?
No, 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 no. They won in baseball last year. Yeah,
It was
they made it. They made
baseball.
it. They made it far. Let's see what we got in the SEC standings. We got Florida
Baseball.
11-0,
Yeah,
Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
LSU
SEC
is
teams are
murdering
two
small
lost
school right
teams.
now.
10
Jesus,
SEC teams are two lost teams.
Jesus.
10 SEC teams are one lost teams.
We
We're at
got
the
some
bottom of the
football on.
SEC.
Let's go.
We're at the
That's all
bottom
I
of
care
the
about.
SEC, and we're 8-3.
I like it. We got Memphis and West Virginia playing in the Scooter Bowl, the
Oh, that'll be
Scooters
interesting.
Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Has that started
Memphis
yet?
currently up
Can we give a
7,
little? Oh, okay.
and
Shout
it
out
looks like
Mario
West
Anderson
Virginia
Jr.
has the ball.
Shout out
Dude,
Mario
I hope
Anderson Jr.
Memphis wins this game. I really do.
Dude, I like Mario. I like what Memphis is cooking.
I was gonna say
Did we
I
ever?
currently live in Tennessee, so I'm pulling for
Yeah,
Memphis.
yeah, of course.
I like their jerseys too.
I
Memphis,
mean,
the thing that
definitely.
okay, I want to dog on the G5 a little bit. Not the G5, the teams, but like the
As a whole,
conference.
yeah.
Yeah, because the G5 has some of the coolest teams in the country.
My
Memphis,
yeah.
for example, Tulane are so sick, and then you got like East
ECU.
Carolina.
I'm
If
a
they
big
would
East
learn,
Carolina fan.
yeah, if they would learn how to play football, it'd be
It
sick.
would be
But
so
their
yeah
uniforms are so tough.
tough.
You have so many G5 schools that need more spotlight, and I think the best way to give them spotlight is make them their own
Your own.
league, dude.
I don't hate that idea. That's actually a
Make
good
them their own,
idea.
and then you can have dude, pull some like European junk. Do a relegation system. If you suck If you suck
That's
as a Power
crazy.
4 school, you go to the G5, and if you're the G5 champion, you can elect to go up to the P4. Come on.
I say we leave that one in Europe. Leave that one in Europe. The
I don't know.
relegation, we'll leave that in
I think
Europe.
a relegation system in college football would honestly work amazing because if you think about how conferences are set up, it's very similar to how Europe sets up their soccer football conferences. You have like a million different schools, million different conferences. You throw them all together, make a super league, but then you have smaller leagues on the outside, blah blah blah. I think something similar would work. Maybe not identical, okay? Maybe not identical, but something similar. I could envision working because Vandy is a G5 school. The only reason they're in the SEC is
Dang.
because they're an OG
Baseball. Their
and they
baseball team.
know it.
Pause.
Baseball team's cracked.
Pause. Yeah, that baseball team
I'm
is insane.
I'm dogging on the
Austin, I'm sure
G5.
you,
Love
I'm
the
Austin,
G5, but also mad at the office.
Yeah, sorry
I'm
I
sure you
They
wasn't
saw
here.
the
I had to
leak.
go
got
and I had to go and get my wife in bed. She had a surgery uh 2 days ago. It's her third one in the same spot. So if you all keep her in your thoughts and prayers and
Prayers
wish her a
appreciated.
healthy recovery.
Glad she's doing
But
well.
yeah, I
Yes,
saw that
sir.
we locked it down. 2 out of 3. Uh, we got the boys beat Clemson in
I
basketball. But
know,
listen,
dude. Got
You
that
uh,
run the
reaction.
state times three. Times three. You got basketball, men's and women's, football,
times
baseball
3.
season coming up
Sorry,
Oh,
soon.
I
dude.
missed that
You
one.
know that
Yeah,
baseball is coming up.
yeah, baseball's coming up. That this season's going to be turned. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we'll have to get an episode on the baseball season because I've got some thoughts about that one.
for
We'll
sure,
have a full episode on that soon, maybe January.
for
Get a
sure.
baseball episode going. I love Gamecock baseball. I'll be at a lot of the games, so
I
we'll
think
get
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
something
yeah,
coming to
for
we're
that.
gonna
Vandy.
go. We're gonna go to a
Next time I
handful.
come to Vandy, I'll be going.
Listen, I'm gonna throw this graphic
Sure.
up. I know. Well, first, before I do that, number one, last week we all went 3-3 in our predictions. We stink. Not really.
I'm so
Um,
mad, dude. I'm
I
so
did
mad at
not think.
myself,
I did not think number one that Tulane was gonna crap the bed as bad as they did. Shout out your Army bros there, Seth.
bro.
Um,
I'm so mad at myself. I doubted my boys. But given they also choked
but
against
then
Navy this
I was about
weekend,
to say
so
the
they can
same
beat it.
thing. Yeah.
Beat
So
the Westerners.
and then SMU decided to wait until the fourth quarter to turn up against Clemson.
I sadly picked that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm putting that one
Hindsight.
on you. That game's your fault.
Yeah, that game's all your
Dog,
fault. And
y'all
I
wanted
bet
to doubt Big Game Dabo, and I had to.
and I bet
I don't think I
against
would. I won't say I doubted. I just say I didn't want to see it.
and I
That's
bet
fair.
it against big game Kirby Smart. So me.
Yeah.
Anyways, over the time period that we've been doing the show, Seth, to round out so far, you're 8-10. I'm 11-7, and Mac is up top at 12-6. So,
Sir,
um, with that being said, we all know. Congratulations, round of applause. Travis Hunter won the Heisman. But we have a few things to say. Listen, I have this graphic up. Ashton Genty, this man. Listen,
Yeah,
he
he's
was.
crazy.
robbed.
Listen, at
I
yards
say
after contact,
robbed.
he
I won't
listen.
say robbed.
He had 1,652 yards after contact.
That's
That was
nuts.
more than the next highest rusher. He had more yards after
Yeah.
contact than just the next highest rusher.
He
I'll say
also
JT was robbed. I'll say had these two seasons been put in another season, you know what I'm saying? Had Ashton Genty
yeah.
put in any other Heisman season, had Travis Hunter been put in any other Heisman season, they're winning. Both
Well,
winning.
somebody put the
I agree with
stats of Ashton Genty beside Melvin Gordon's season where he didn't win the Heisman, and their stats are eerily similar, and
Yeah.
he didn't win it that season either.
Was that the year he lost to Mariota? Did he lose to
Yeah,
Mariota or
I
okay.
think it was that year. I'm not 100% sure,
I'll
but
do a quick fact check on that
listen,
one.
Ashton Jeanty also yards after contact per rush. He almost averaged 5 yards per rush after contact. That was first in the FBS. He also missed or forced missed tackles 111, which was also first in the FBS. This man was a walking tank. And I mean, people were saying a lot of things about Travis Hunter. Now listen, I have a few things I want to say. Had Travis Hunter stuck it out with Jackson State or with Florida State and had this same year that he had, I don't think we hear as much uproar. I think the uproar we're seeing is from the Prime effect and his and Shadur and Shiloh and the stuff that they do around him. That's just personal opinion.
So are you saying he won it because of the Prime effect, or people are upset he won it because of the Prime effect?
I think people are upset because they think he won it because of the Prime effect. I am of the opinion of if it were left up to me, I would have gave co-Heisman's because Ashton's season was insane. But at the same time, looking at the stats, and listen, I'm gonna shout your boy out, Mac. Pat Surtain stats. When you look at people's stats that are really, really, really good DBs,
which I would say is the hardest position in football.
Sure.
I got something for y'all.
If you look at his stats as a DB, sure, he only had 4 interceptions, which was tied for 17th in all of college football. Sure, total snaps isn't a stat, but how many? It's not a stat. But my God, the man played basically the whole game on both sides of the ball. That's insanity. We probably won't ever see somebody compete at that level. I don't think. I mean, someone may come along and shock us. Granted, now in receiving yards, he was 6th in the nation. 6th. While playing both sides of the ball. I think that's absurd because you can see it on the tape sometimes. People kind of, the way they set up their defenses and the way they shell their coverages and stuff, it looks like he's manned up, and then they drop zones and try to put people closer to where he is to affect the ball being thrown towards his side. So that opens up other people on Colorado's offense. It happened a lot during the season. And granted, he had 14 receiving touchdowns, which was 2nd in all of college football.
Let me ask.
Sure, go ahead.
Are we seeing these awards, not just the Heisman, but these awards become popularity contests?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Because think about this. Nick Nash won the Triple Crown.
That's exactly where I was going.
Nick Nash won the Triple Crown for a wide receiver and didn't win that award.
Where I was going. That's exactly where I was going. I can maybe understand, I understand Travis winning the Heisman. Do I think Jeanty should have won it? Did I have Jeanty winning it? Yes. I'm not mad about Hunter winning, but like the Nick Nash thing was a problem for me.
Man,
yeah, agreed.
Time out. Let's keep it $1.50. This is awful. I feel so bad. No one knew Nick Nash's name before that award came out. Come on, dog. Like, play in he's a G5er, dude. Playing against high school teams. I'm not defending Nick Nash. I refuse. He was probably the only target on that football team.
Oh, my fault, Nick Nash.
I'm gonna say, I did play with Nick Nash in NCAA, and he does cook in NCAA. So I did know his name before the award was.
Okay, it's no disrespect to Nash. I fully believe you're a dog. I have 0 doubts about that. You could cross me up.
Was Travis's second best?
If you are a senior and you are playing at that level, where you are dogging your DBs on that level, and you know you're him, that you can win the Triple Crown, and you're that type of athlete, get your tail out of San Diego or wherever.
San Jose.
Go to a bigger school.
San Jose.
It was just completely disrespecting Nick Nash right now. Nick Nash, if you're watching, we apologize.
If Nick
Sorry,
Nash
sorry,
watches
Nick.
this, I'm shocked. There's nothing against him, but I don't respect G5
Dang.
stats the
Okay.
same way I do
Oh, my
SEC,
bad, Nick
Big
Nash.
12,
My
Big 10
bad.
stats. Play in a better conference. Play better
What was
competition.
was
Same
Genty
thing with
the or not
Genty.
Genty?
Play better competition.
Was Hunter the second best wide receiver? That's the question. Because I
The
believe he
only
was
reason
ranked 6th overall. So how do
the
you make
only
the argument
reason
that he should win the Biletnikoff if he's 6th overall? I can see that
now
being a
that's fair.
factor for Heisman, but the Fred Biletnikoff Award is the best wide receiver. You can't give it to the most popular wide
Mm.
receiver.
Now that's fair.
Mm.
Now that's
Don't
valid.
at me. No, at me. At me. It's the
Mm.
best
Now
wide receiver, not the
we're
most
talking.
popular.
That absurd hell.
On Twitter.
And by
Follow
the
me on
way, Nick.
Twitter.
By the way,
X,
Nash.
whatever it is.
I'll go look up San Jose's. Like I'll go
Mm-hmm.
do a little bit more research because I may have spoke too early. I don't know who y'all played this year,
About
At
to pull it up
hockey
for you.
underscore
but
season on
but
X.
at least Genty showed up when they played Oregon. So I'll give Genty a little more respect because when he did play big competition, he did show up. That's the only reason I ain't
Yes.
dogging on Genty as much for the same thing,
Listen,
even though.
Colorado lost to Nebraska.
But I ain't gonna blame one player for that though.
Well, then that's the same thing with Nick Nash. You can't blame Nick Nash for.
We're talking about awards though. I'm not talking about win-loss record.
Mm.
Because that's getting into team stats at that point.
All right. So here's the thing, Mac. Who should have won the Heisman?
Nash and Genty.
Seth, who should have won the Heisman?
I'm cool with who won it, man. After watching that cat play, because I was disrespecting him at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but watching some of the plays he made, nah, dog, that can be you.
I think
Have you
both of
seen
them.
Have you seen the Stanford catch?
Yes,
We get
I
that
have.
clip. Can we roll that clip, or is that copyrighted? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know.
Hey, if you're watching at home, just look up Travis Hunter Stanford.
Hold on. Let me
I
see if I can pull this up. Hold on.
watching
Like I said,
some
no
of the plays.
disrespect to Hunter. Like I said, any other year I would have been fine with him winning. I'm okay with him winning. Am I happy with him winning? No. I'm okay with him
Bro,
winning.
my only thing with Genty is if he would have played that a high level of competition weekly and had those stats, I would call it a robbery. But I'm saying my point is I see it like this. I see it as equal. They are both deserving, but I'm gonna pick the cat that went against better competition and I saw make some freak plays. That's my opinion on it.
He's been making some freak plays too.
Whoa,
And let me
whoa,
say,
Mac, whoa! Whoa, hold on. I think I might have it.
It just
Hold on. Hold on.
I think it's just wrong to call it a robbery though. I don't think it's a robbery.
no, that's why I took it back. It's not a robbery. I'm just not
Yeah.
happy with it. And like I said, I'm okay with Hunter winning. Genty should have won. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
We have the clip,
Fair
Austin.
enough. Give me a second.
I
It's
don't
gonna.
mean to dog on the guy, but let me also add Ashton Genty
I've
missed.
been
I mean, let me add Ashton Genty missed 8 quarters of football because his team
Yeah.
had such a big lead. So his stats are from 11 games instead of 13, or 10 games instead of 12.
don't get me
Just throw
wrong,
that in
he's a
there.
freak. That's why I say it's even, like between the two. But the thing is, I'm gonna pick the guy I watch moss people and intercept the ball. Now, this
Well,
is something I got for you. Since you're
well,
since
have
you're a
you
Bronco.
Well,
Seth,
the-
have you seen
I don't think he's seen
Stanford
the
clip?
clip. I don't think he's seen the clip, brother.
I'm gonna have to
Go
look
ahead.
it up.
You talk about the Broncos. I'd love to talk about the Broncos.
No, so I got you. I got something. So if if this is what a two-way player is supposed to look like, give Peyton Manning his award back. Oh, Peyton Manning deserves the Heisman. Charles Woodson didn't do anything to deserve that award if this is what we're basing a quality two-way player.
As Peyton Manning is the reason why I love football today. So yeah, he
So
deserves that Heisman. But
give him the Heisman. No disrespect, Woodson, but you
Charles
didn't do
Woodson, if you're listening,
any.
no disrespect.
Yeah, facts. But he didn't put up near the numbers that our boy Hunter did this year.
No,
Like
I'm
he
gonna throw
wasn't even
another one
close.
out there. Peyton Manning, if you're listening, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the podcast.
Nah, for real.
Yeah, Peyton on the podcast. Can you
I am
bring
trying
your
to.
media team?
Yeah,
What
bring
is
the
that?
media team.
I'm trying to get this catch up now. It is still downloading, by the way.
You're
Uh,
good. You're good.
listen, that I watched that catch twice already. That thing is, brother.
Let me say, Austin, who do you think should have won the Heisman?
Hey, what
Hmm.
are your thoughts?
Um.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
be done dissing on the G5 until we get into playoff talk. So
I
which
listen.
no.
I mean the truth. The truth is that yes, G5 teams are weak. That's the truth because we all watch SEC teams play week in and week out. That's the truth.
What we grew up
But
on.
yes, but we all watched Ashton Genty run down Oregon's throat when they played. Do I think
we
Ashton would have
Done
done
that
the
week in
things
and week
he'd
out.
done? Do I think he would have done that week in and week out? No, I don't think he would have.
Mm,
And he
okay.
mm,
This is what I'll
listen,
give you. This is what I'll give you.
here's my reasoning. Here's my
Mhm.
reasoning. In G5, they are sticking 8 people in the box against this man. And he is bouncing it
Okay.
off of them, shout out Rocket Sanders, the way that he did against Missouri to get in the end zone to win the game. Legit. Against Oregon, he wasn't doing that. When he got hit, he was getting tackled, except for a handful of times. A bunch of his
Right.
yards came off of just busted defense where he just took off down the field. And that's just the truth.
Mm.
Do I think he would have done that week in and week out against probably against the ACC? Shout out Clemson's trash defense. Um, for giving up 287 yards to the Citadel. Uh, I mean, I don't know, man. I think he probably could have done it. I just don't think he could have done it in SEC. I think he probably could have done it in every other conference. Maybe just not
I
to
don't know, man.
I don't think he could have done it to the
Yeah.
degree that he done it in. Now, does Travis's play translate? Is the other question. That has
I don't
had
think it does.
me agreed. I think his play
Wait, yeah. Tell
translates.
me, you think Travis Hunter is going to play both sides of the ball against
In the
No.
Ryan
NFL?
Williams? Not Ryan Williams, but
Oh, you're
like
talking
no,
about
not in
just
NFL.
oh,
But
okay,
like
okay,
if he
okay.
was in the SEC, do you see him going up against Judge Collier and Nick Harbor
Yes.
a full game?
For a full game, he might not get as many catches and targets, but yeah, I think he goes out there and plays it.
Okay, and
For
that was just
sure.
because I can't think of a corner in any other SEC team. But like, do you see him
You talking
doing
about
that?
like Malik Starks from Georgia? I mean, I don't think he's a corner, but
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Malachi Starks or whatever his
Malachi
name is.
Starks. You see him doing that against Malachi Starks and whatever Georgia's best receiver is. I was going to say Lab McConkey, but he's not there anymore.
I don't know, but at least he played better competition on a weekly basis. But you know what's the
Yeah,
best part?
I think
This is
that's
about to be a good
where
segue. Austin, you ready for this? You
talk to
ready for
me.
this?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Genty, Boise got to play in the playoffs, and we're going to find out if he's really like that. And you know what? If he averages 200 yards while in the playoffs, I'll call it a robbery, and I'll join the Genty fan club. So, what's your
Speaking
thoughts
of
on the playoffs?
playoffs,
That's called a transition. Come on now,
let's go. I love that.
episode 3.
Let me. Can I get a little? Let me see. Game one. I'm gonna get us there. Friday. Everybody gonna
Yep.
be locked in Friday,
Here,
8 p.m.
I put up the playoff bracket for us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
yeah, I got the playoff bracket up for us.
All right, we got Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Indiana at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is currently 7.5 point favorites, or minus 7.5. I don't know how that works. What are we thinking?
Oh, the fraud bowl is my first thought.
Oh,
But
Ooh, I agree.
outside
Yeah,
of
it's a
that,
fraud bowl. It's a fraud bowl.
I think who wants to go first? I don't know. I'll go
I don't
first.
even have.
I'm
I can
gonna
just
be
tell you who I think's
picking.
winning.
Who you got?
Give me Notre Dame. I originally had Indiana on the script to win, and last second, probably 15 seconds before we went live, I switched it to Notre Dame just because I like to hold the Northern Illinois loss against them, but I feel like this is also a different Notre Dame team than what we saw against Northern Illinois. Because that was pitiful. That team is not beating anybody else in the playoffs. If that's what they show up as, but Notre Dame does this all the time. They don't. They play a non-conference schedule because they're independent, which I disagree with. But like, you do you until college football punishes them for being independent. It's never going to change. I think
Yeah.
Notre Dame is going to win this one. It's going to be high scoring, similar to the USC Notre Dame game we saw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to see as many defensive. We were 2 or 3 defensive scores by Notre Dame in that game, which what won Notre Dame the game. So I think it'll be closer. I've got Notre Dame 41, Indiana 37.
Wow.
Hmm.
A South Bend thriller. Friday Night
Hmm.
Lights.
I'm also gonna ride with you with Notre Dame.
Whoa.
Mostly because
Hmm.
I think they have the better depth at the line of scrimmage. I
They
think their
do.
guys are a little bigger, a little faster, have a little bit of twitch. And I don't. My only thing with Notre Dame is the choke factor. Notre Dame, Penn State, some of these teams they choke in big moments. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, my only question is Indiana going to be
New
also going to
chokers.
choke? Like some, yeah,
Yeah.
like
I don't
someone's got
trust
to.
Indiana. I don't
I
trust
just don't.
Indiana.
I don't either. I don't trust Indiana. We've only seen them in one serious game, and they got their tail kicked in after the first quarter. They looked bad at the line of scrimmage against Ohio State, and that's
I
kind of
mean,
my feelings on it.
that's what separates these contenders, these serious contenders, out of the 12 teams in the playoffs, and the ones who are like, "How did you make this? How did you make this 12-team set?" It's the line of scrimmage. That's
Mhm.
really the discrepancy. I mean, the offensive talent, the defensive talent at your talent positions, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, it's going to be not as big as the discrepancy as you're going to see on the line. SEC, Big Ten boys, they're huge. That's who you see at your lineman in the NFL. 90% of the time, they either played at Penn State or they played at Alabama. Like, I mean, that's half the NFL offensive line. So that's going to be the deciding factor in some of these games where you got like Penn State, SMU, the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame, Indiana, watch the line of scrimmage battle. When Arizona State comes into play, watch the line of scrimmage battle. Same with Boise. When they come into play, watch the line of scrimmage battle. The rest of these games, I think it's going to come down to who wants it more. I know that's corny, but that's what I think it is.
So you're saying Notre Dame's just gonna outbully Indiana?
Yeah, they're gonna push
I
their
think
guys
so.
around. They're not going to get any pressure on
But you
what's
think
Notre Dame's
Indiana keeps it
quarterback.
close?
Yeah, they're going to keep it close because
Yeah,
they've, like I said,
Riley
I'm
they've got
Leonard.
that
going.
talent. They got that talent on the outsides. You give Rourke, or is it O'Rourke?
I
Give
think
him
it's
some
just
time in the
Rourke. I think it's Rourke.
Rourke. Okay, you give him some time in the pocket. He's going to make the throws.
Mm.
Notre Dame secondary. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be close, but Notre Dame's ability. You're gonna look at the stat sheet and say, man, this game should have been a blowout on Notre Dame's side. Then you look at the scoreboard and it's going to be close. I'm
I think
saying,
it's
Mm.
going to be like a 27-24. I think defense is going to play a little bit of factor in it. Just we'll see how much.
See,
But
I'm conflicted because I have a score here that might not y'all might not like. Um, just because I think that Notre Dame's defense is going to do to Indiana what Ohio State did. Um,
okay,
mm,
I think that just because Notre Dame's defense outside of that Northern Illinois game, they have looked pretty stout. I mean, and that's just the truth. They have looked the part. They have done their part. They have um they have dominated the inside. They have um they have attacked the ball. They have been ball hawks when needed to be. They have been heat seekers. on that defensive side. Um, I got Notre Dame winning 42-30. Um, I
Okay.
think they
Too far off.
no, I think again Notre Dame bullies them up front. Indiana gets way too tired, and Riley Leonard and co just go to work.
I thought he was gonna pull like a 37-13.
12. Yeah.
So
I've
you
got,
talking about
I've
that
got,
Well,
defense.
I've got
that's why
41-37. So I
well
think,
that's why I say conflicted because initially when I started thinking about Indiana and how they can be explosive, sure. Can Indiana or can Notre Dame bust a coverage here or there? Sure. It's bound to happen to anybody. And if that does happen, Indiana could score a couple times. That's not beyond Indiana. Um, Kurt Signetti is he's going to have his boys ready. So is Marcus Freeman. But I think that again, Notre Dame is just going to bully Indiana up front. They're going to have the size factor. They are. I mean, I just think that they're going to. I think they're going to have that edge on Indiana, and they're going to use it. And I think with Marcus Freeman just getting that contract extension, he's here to make a statement, and he is going to punch a ticket to go face Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. With an emphatic statement against Indiana because initially I had 42-20, but I gave Indiana an additional 10 points on a Notre Dame slip up somehow, some way. Notre Dame's going to slip up and give them a big play somewhere.
see, and I can see the 42 because I said 41-37. I can see it being like 42-30 with like a minute 50 left, and Indiana gets like a garbage time touchdown.
Right.
You're like, whoa! If they get this onside kick, they could win this
See,
ball game, and then
and
they don't get it.
there again, that's
Yeah.
why I said I was conflicted. I went somewhere in the middle where it could have been 42-37, or it could have been 42-23, where they should have had a touchdown, but Notre Dame's defense decided to punch the ball out when they were on like the 2-yard line and got the ball back. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that one. But when we look at the 21st. We got 3 games on the slate, the final 3 games of this weekend for the college football playoff. 12 o'clock, we got SMU at Penn State. Penn State is 8.5-point favorites. What do you got? What you thinking?
Once again, I go back
It's
to
gonna
the
dog
line
walk
of.
'em.
Said you think what now?
I honestly think Penn State's gonna dog walk them.
Oh, I thought you said SMU's going to dog walk
I thought
them.
he
I was
did
about to
too. I was
say,
about to
whoa.
say, whoa.
Like
Whoa.
this is my SMU scores like 12-15 because their Penn State's defense decides to play football, and then Penn
Yeah,
State puts up 30-32 on them. That's this
that's
game
what
for
I
me.
said.
Like, there's going to be a blowout game somewhere in this playoff. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it. And I'm not trying to rag on SMU, but you really didn't impress me when you played Clemson.
Nope.
And
Well,
I don't know if you can.
Clemson took their foot off the gas. I mean, Garrett Riley said
Yeah,
it in a presser earlier today, I'm pretty sure. He said they took their foot off the gas. He said, I wish we would have kept our foot on the gas in the second half versus South Carolina. You
which is
can't say that as a
also
coach.
which is insane to me. I've never understood that concept, but that's
Like
another conversation.
for
I
another
don't
day.
I don't believe SMU can do it twice,
I
or
don't
at least
either.
keep it close with a stout defense. Given
Mm-mm.
Penn State ain't world beaters by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
I don't know.
but
After the way they played Oregon, they could make a statement in the playoffs here. I'd be surprised to see them in the semifinals.
yeah, without
I mean,
this
I wouldn't be surprised to
backup
see them in the Cotton Bowl
backup.
after beating Boise State. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. But
I have Penn State winning this one 32-17.
So
not too far off of mine.
Close to you, close to Seth.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like we're all.
Wait, what did you say, Seth?
I said like a 12-32, something like that.
I got 38-13.
Yeah. So we're all around
Yeah.
the same. We're all around the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's kind of cut and dry. We say that now, and then SMU will shock the
Somehow,
country.
some way, yeah, they'll come and shock the country and put up 40 against Penn State's defense.
All right, the next one we got the Battle of the Orange.
Clemson versus Texas. See, this one
This is the most
this one's got a
toxic
lot of
game of the
yeah. Well,
week.
see, this one's got a lot to it because Quinn and Cade played each other in
High
high school
school like
championship
3
game.
times.
Yeah, well, like a Texas DB that plays with Quinn now intercepted one of his passes to win Cade and Co. the game in like their last championship game against each other, or something like that. I think that's what I read on X. But like, there's just a lot. They've played each other a lot. And I'm pretty sure Cade's won all 3 battles in high school.
Yes.
Now, granted, it's high school ball.
Just a little just a little bug
Oh,
that'll be in that'll be a bug in Ewer's head.
For sure.
I've never beat
I
this guy.
Listen, the other thing that I have a problem with on Texas's side, I think they have a Ewers problem.
Yes, they do.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
and
know we were talking about this pre-show. Like watching him play Georgia twice and watching him play other teams. When that kid gets under pressure, he is flustered. He is
can I
so
give
flustered under pressure. Like he can't. It's like he has no poise under pressure.
he doesn't. He
I
doesn't.
mean,
He runs around like a
obviously, I'm not into pads. I'm not into Texas Orange out here getting chased down by a stem double mug blitz. It's not me. Eye test tells me that Texas lost both of those games to Georgia because Quinn Ewers got way too flustered. Granted, the first game, Arch and Quinn both were seeing ghosts, but the second game
yeah.
they didn't make a change. They didn't try anything different. They didn't, and I think we are in the era of college football where you've got to be a dual threat quarterback. You've got to be able to escape and make plays with your feet. And if you can't, mm, sorry. I mean, and that's just the truth. Unless you just have a line that averages 6'5", 330 across the line, like you're playing in the NFL
That
every
happened.
week. eh,
Yeah.
I just don't see you being a pocket passer in today's college football. I just don't.
Just my hot take on Ewers is Texas is going to lose a game they shouldn't in the playoffs, whether it be Clemson or whether it be Arizona State. They're going to lose a game they
hmm.
shouldn't, and it's going to be because of Ewers' mistakes. And I believe this is what I've said for 2 or 3 weeks now.
Mhm.
Quinn Ewers does not go to the draft. He foregoes the draft. And Texas says, "Hey, buddy, you're not starting here next year. You got to go." So my hot take is Quinn Ewers is going to go to the transfer portal this year and either play for a Big Ten team. Not even a Big Ten team. He's either going to play for Ohio State or he's going to go to an SEC team that's losing a quarterback. I think Nussmeier
Auburn
just
should have
announced.
waited.
Yeah, Nussmeier just announced he's coming back. I hate to say it, I wouldn't be surprised if Quinn went to Ole Miss. And I would not be surprised if Quinn went to North Carolina. So those are the 3 teams on my radar right now for the Quinn Ewers sweepstakes.
Interesting. I like
So,
that.
which is I'm calling a sweepstakes because it is not official yet.
Yeah.
But, that's just what I'm thinking and feeling. Like I said,
What's
Texas is going to
y'all's
lose a game they shouldn't lose.
what's y'all's pick though?
I've got it close. I've got a close defensive game. I've got it 23-18 Texas. Every time we think Texas is going to have a big offensive game versus Georgia,
They
it
haven't.
doesn't happen. It's a defensive game. It's boring. It
Yeah.
almost puts you to sleep. I think I
Yeah.
slept through part of the SEC championship game the first
You
half
did.
because it
You
was
did because you were here.
boring.
You woke up. You were here at the house. You woke up. You came downstairs because I was cooking chicken parm. And you woke
Fire,
up,
by the
came
way.
downstairs, and you were like, "Whoa, it's 6-3. What's going on?" I was like, "This game has been boring, brother. Like
Yeah.
it has been horrid. Nothing's
Yeah.
happened. These defenses are just stout, and Quinn looks terrible, and Carson Beck, shout out Sid the Sloth, looks like
Whoa.
they both just look terrible. They did.
Whoa.
I mean, truth.
Yeah.
I have Texas winning 21-17.
I got 23-18.
Yeah, I thought
I
about
refuse
it.
to pick Clemson 2 weeks in a row. I'm
Smart choice. Listen, I refused number 1 to pick Clemson at all. I know Jonathan's not watching, but he's got to work tomorrow. But I refuse to pick Clemson. But I got Texas in this game. Listen, Clemson, although they won the ACC championship, didn't deserve to be in this playoff. I'll say it until I don't have any breath left in my lungs.
Yep. I think with my thoughts on the game, I think it's gonna be more of a defensive game where people make these explosive plays, whether that be Cade on his feet, running
Yeah,
for
that's
his
what
life, and I hate it. Tennessee, I'm not Tennessee. Clemson, they got some dogs at the wide receiver spot, which makes me wonder why they got a transfer portal wide receiver from a high school team. But that's besides the point. I might not want to talk crap yet because he might be a freak. Dabo's
No,
Dabo.
he's
But
pretty decent.
yeah,
He's kind of explosive off the line.
but nonetheless, I think the difference maker is the team that's battle tested and has the better defense, and I think Texas has that better defense. But
Yeah,
I would
that's what I'm
not
feeling.
be surprised if Big Game Dabo
No, me
pulls the
either.
magic wand out of his and somehow makes it to the semifinals.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, and the truth is I want I want ASU to go to the Orange Bowl.
We all do. We all do.
I want
Yeah,
ASU to
that's
make it.
Scatterboo
Listen, oh
backfield.
Scatterboo, listen, Sam Levitt's him too,
Mhm.
brother. Their quarterback, that dude is
True
nasty.
freshman. True freshman.
Buddy
right?
is nice. He is
Yeah.
That
nice.
makes sense. Arizona State's fun. I love that their head coach.
Listen, I don't quote me, but I think Arizona State wins the Fiesta Bowl no matter who makes it, Texas or Clemson. I think they win it.
Whoa.
I am dead serious. Listen, Kenny Dillingham is nice.
Yeah.
Listen, and the reason I say that, hear me out.
What a world.
The reason I say that, hear me out. Texas has struggled
Okay.
against dual threat quarterbacks. Who else struggled against dual threat quarterbacks? Clem Tech. Clemson has struggled against dual threat quarterbacks too.
Rewind that to episode 1. Rewind to episode 1.
Who has a dual threat quarterback? Shout out ASU and Sam Levitt. That kid is going to put himself on the map in the Fiesta Bowl as if he already did.
I would say he might come in with Lenoris and DJ as the Heisman favorite. Give me a Sam Levitt, Lenoris Sellers, DJ Lagway Heisman race next year.
And Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Listen, those are going to be your 4 finalists next year, all sophomores.
Personally, I think ASU loses at the line of scrimmage. That's just me.
They might. Listen, they might. And you may be 100% correct. I am rooting for the underdog in this one because
Clemson was in Carolina's backfield all game.
Sure.
Every inch of it. So
sure, but guess what happened?
I don't think he's near as good as Sellers. I just don't think he's as good as Sellers. So
listen, we can agree on that.
They got a Scatterboo, so
listen, they can blitz all they want, and Levitt can just dump past that joint to Scatterboo, and he can run for a smooth little 40. And Buddy can just move that thing. Listen,
all right, what's our next match?
So what we got going on the next one?
Our next one and our last one is 8 p.m. that night is Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State is favored 7.5 points.
It's crazy. Let me go ahead and start off. That is crazy.
I agree because I don't have Ohio State winning this game at home.
This is game of the year potential. This is game of the year potential.
And I think Ryan Day craps the bed again. And I said it.
I don't trust. I feel like are we going 4 for 4 this week?
I think we're all voting the same thing here. Listen, Ryan Day crapped the bed against Michigan yet again. I think he craps the bed again against Tennessee.
Then he gets fired.
I was thinking the same thing. That was going to be my hot take for this game. I think that they crapped the bed against Tennessee. Yeah. Listen, because Tennessee's defense is good. Their offense is explosive.
Let me give you a hot take for this game. My hot take for this game, Tennessee wins, but the hot take, Tennessee wins in triple overtime.
Whoa.
Triple overtime? Good God.
Mark it down, 45-43, Tennessee.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this is game of the year potential here.
I could see
I like this matchup. You got dogs on the line of scrimmage. You've got dogs at receiving. You got Dylan Sampson Oh my gosh, that kid is
As
special.
Yeah, kid's
he's
nice.
freak
Holy.
as someone who has had a personal experience in the horseshoe, watching Carolina getting blown out by 50, not a fun time. The horseshoe is going to be covered in orange in Neyland. Did I say horseshoe earlier or Neyland? I
Said
watched Tennessee, whatever. I watched Tennessee blow us out inside of Neyland. That stadium is insane. Tennessee fans are insane. They did respect me because I was like a lone fish in a sea of orange. It was kind of scary, but no one like hurt me, forgiven they blew us out, so they didn't have a reason to. I think that stadium's gonna be covered in orange. I think it's gonna, yeah. Why are we even talking this game? It's
the
Tennessee.
stadiums they're playing in Ohio State,
In
right?
Ohio State.
Yeah, it's going to be
So you're
covered in
saying Ohio
orange,
State
dog.
Stadium will be covering in orange.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tennessee fans travel. Listen, you
Yes, they
said a
They
do.
triple
travel well.
overtime close game. I also have a close game. I agree that they both have dogs on both sides of the ball. Both decent defenses are stout. Both offensives can be explosive. Both back ends on the defensive sides can make plays. They do make plays. I got Tennessee winning a close one, 38-35, not going in overtime. Um, but still having the potential for game of the year with like 2 touchdowns apiece coming within the last 5 minutes for both teams. With
Ooh.
explosives. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And the reason I thought of that is because we saw the SMU Clemson game, we saw the Georgia Texas game. It started getting down to the wire where people had to start pulling things out of the bag to try to win a game. This is the first 12-team playoff. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Like someone on the sideline, head coaches, OCs, DC, somebody will try to draw up something to make some kind of play happen to put their team over the
Course,
edge.
of course, the SEC homers are gonna pick Tennessee.
I mean, listen,
No, it's valid though. I'm just picking on y'all.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I don't
saying.
see. I
I
don't
mean,
trust Ohio State,
that's just my
but
that's just my
that's
yeah,
gonna
that's
be a
just what
fun
I
game
think.
though.
I agree.
How
I
many
mean,
how many we got, what, 10 playoff games, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
so
6,
once you
7,
get those 4 out, then you have 4 more
so 8.
for the Sugar Bowl, Rose
4,
Bowl, Fiesta, and
8,
Peach. That's 4, 8, and then you have the
10.
semis, which is the Orange and the Cotton Bowl, which gives you 10, and then the national championship is 11.
I saw a stat the other day that said it's roughly what 1 in every 12 14 playoff games that we've seen have been an upset. So I don't think we see a lot of upsets. I think we do see one upset in this bracket.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the only upset I see happening is either Boise upsetting somebody in the Peach Bowl or
State,
ASU upsetting somebody
I
in the
agree.
Fiesta Bowl.
Let me say, I think
Because
Notre Dame. I think the only team I could see a big upset in Notre Dame beating Georgia.
in the Sugar Bowl.
It's the only
Okay.
team I can see. That's the only team I can see beating Georgia on that side of
y'all
the
ain't gonna like
bracket.
this.
Hear
Yeah.
me out. Hear me out. They beat Notre Dame would be the team to beat Georgia,
Uh-huh.
then lose to Boise State
I
in the
think
semifinals.
before we
And put
close out
Boise
for
in the
night,
Natty.
Yeah.
I think we should give our natty picks. I think that's what it's time for.
Did we ever give our picks for the South Carolina Illinois game? I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if we
Wait,
gave
did we?
numbers on that
I
one.
think I think we
South
got
did.
Carolina
locked
by
in.
50.
Listen, I think
Did
we got locked into the basketball game.
we did? Can we just give numbers on that one real quick? The score.
Listen, South Carolina's favored by 10.5. I our defense. When I look at some stats, I mean, Illinois, they average 27.5 points a game. Their opponents average 24, so they're used to their opponents scoring a lot. Um, they give up right at 400 yards a game to their opponents, by the way. Not looking good. That's bet down there at 80th in the country. Um, good God. They also allow their opponents to score 86% of the time in the red zone. They also allow their opponents to convert on third down 55% of the time, which is best for 106th in the country.
All that considered, I'm going to
and
pick Illinois in a close game.
wow,
I'm
that's
kidding. I'm
horrid.
kidding.
Listen, and
You better knock on wood,
that's
bro.
just their
Stop.
defensive stats. Like all of their offensive stats, bro, the only stat that they have on offense that's good is their third down conversion rate, which is 44.5%, which is 28th in the country. The rest of their offensive stats are, I mean, literally the rest of their offensive stats are like 60th or worse, except
Very
for
interesting.
their interceptions thrown. They're 18th in the country for 1.66% out of all of their throws. The rest, their defense and offense, I mean, they 40, 50th and worse. I mean, it's not a good look.
We've seen them. They almost lost. What team did they beat? They beat Purdue by a point at home.
Interesting.
Beat
So
South Carolina in a blowout, 51-17. Cox on top, baby.
interesting.
Eesh.
I'm riding with my
51-17.
boy. I'm riding with Debo Williams, not MVP of the defense, but my personal MVP of the defense, Debo Williams, 42. Just blowout.
You don't think Illinois score a point?
Not a point, brother.
If we don't have any opt-outs, I could see them scoring maybe 3.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you say that because
I
opponents
refuse to give them any respect.
versus South Carolina only average 18 points a game, which is best for 11th in the country. Our defense has
We'll
that.
give them no respect.
We only give up 4.5 yards per play, which is best for 9th in the country. And we're ranked first for 4th down conversion rates on our defensive side. I mean,
lengthy stream tonight.
We're top 10. Yeah, we're top 10 for rushing yards, opponents rushing yards against us. I mean, we have a very, very stout defense. Now, granted, our pass percentage, well, that's play percentage, but completion percentage and yards per pass, we're still top 30 in the nation. So I don't
even have to take in stats into consideration for this game.
No,
I refuse to give them
I'm just throwing some numbers out there for y'all, so y'all have a few things to think about and talk about. But here's my prediction. I have us beating Illinois the way we should have beat
Old Dominion
at the beginning of the season to set us straight. But we had that happen to to show some kinks.
I'm scared. Speaking of first games, I'm scared of that Virginia Tech game this year.
I am not. I think we beat Virginia Tech. I think we beat Virginia Tech 42 to 17. But AJ Brand's probably going to be their quarterback. So
I may be a little.
Drone said he's coming back.
Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, this week.
I may be a little scarred from that UNC game a year ago. I was there personally and I had to watch it. We don't look good in the first game of the year. But nonetheless, we'll talk about that.
Anyway.
Listen, I have South Carolina winning 52 to 13 in this game. I think we have one busted play that gives them a touchdown, and then they score 2 field goals. That's what I think happens.
Close. I said 51-17, so we're close on that.
Yeah, I think we put
no business.
I think we handle business, and I also think we show the College Football Playoff Committee that they made a huge mistake. Which, granted, they didn't put Bama in, but whatever.
Yeah, but they put SMU in, so I can eat it. All right, so Natty picks. What are we thinking?
Yeah, back to that. So
to wrap up the stream, is this all we have left?
Yeah, to wrap up the stream here, we're gonna knock out who we think's gonna be in the national championship and who we have winning. Which, granted, listen, for everybody that's gonna tune in later on once everything's posted and whatnot, if you did like what we talked about tonight, if you have anything you'd like us to talk about, drop a comment, leave a like.
Comment,
yeah, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your people, share our posts at the 2001 Show on Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram. We are out there everywhere.
Ain't
Doc-
hard to find.
Listen, follow us on X at cocky_season, at absurd sale, at Dr. Cocky Flock. Listen, we are all out there.
A burner.
Listen, we appreciate everybody listening and taking time to spend some time with us. But yeah, national championship.
Hey, just say what you think. Just let it off. And then we're gonna-
I got Oregon and Georgia, with Oregon winning. I got Oregon winning a close one. I just think that
basic.
yeah.
I'm going
Basic.
off the wall, and I have Oregon and Georgia, with Oregon winning a close one. Tell us.
Y'all gonna hate this.
Oh
Oh
no.
gosh.
Oh no.
Give me Texas, Penn State.
Oh Lord.
Texas
What?
over Penn.
Oh, and I'm not that
Whoa.
guy.
I got.
Drew is
Hold up
not
now.
that
I got
guy.
you. I got you. Hold up. All Drew has to do: beat SMU, easy. Beat Boise. Whoa. Oh my God. World beaters.
I'm clipping
And then
that
they
for
have to
when
play-
Boise beats Penn State. I'm gonna
Oh,
clip
me.
that for
Oh,
when Boise
me.
beats Penn
I
State.
know this one's that might hurt me, but and then Penn State has to play Georgia. I ain't gonna lie. This is a little bit, you know what I mean?
I mean, unless Notre
But-
Dame or Indiana decide to
Georgia-
upset Georgia.
This is my thing with Georgia. They just lost their starting QB.
Yep.
That is why I picked Penn State over Georgia. It's gonna be neutral
That's
site. Both of them have
crazy.
quality defenses. If Penn State can somehow muster up points over Georgia's defense, which they did against Oregon.
I have a comment.
I think Georgia loses if Carson Beck comes back.
I was about to say the same thing. Georgia's a better football team with
They're
Gunnar
a better
Stockton.
team with Gunnar Stockton.
I don't know. He threw a pick, but he did.
A pick. Have you
Get
seen what
70
Carson
yards.
Beck's been doing this year?
Throwing
He's a
I don't know.
picks
machine.
with an S.
What's the score
I mean,
predictions
I
on the
ain't gonna say
games?
wrong.
What we got?
Now, when it
I
comes
think
to
in the
Texas,
national
I was gonna-
championship, you talking about in the
I don't have
Natty?
a score prediction yet.
Yeah, in the Natty.
For Oregon, Georgia, I think. Listen, Oregon is fast.
Y'all are riding that like betting line is what y'all are doing.
42-38, Oregon.
See, you thinking like me. I see. All right.
Boat race.
So, yeah, I was going along the lines of like a 45-38 type joint, just because Oregon's fast. But I also think that Georgia was going to make plays. But hear me out. Georgia's receivers have been dropping the ball the most in the FBS all season. All season. That's also why they didn't blow Texas out in the SEC championship. Had their receivers caught the ball, that game wouldn't even have been close.
It would have been
Like
over at
legit.
halftime.
It would have been, because there were 3 busted plays in the second quarter alone. 2 of them by Dominic Lovett. 2. I mean, legit.
Right.
Like, if he catches those balls, one of them was on a pulse. If one of them was on one was on a crosser and one was on like a deep post. If he catches both of those, dude, the game's over. Texas couldn't do nothing at all. And then the same thing happened in the second half. I mean, their wide receiver was just they were just dropping passes. Listen, yeah, a 45-38 type joint is what I think.
So you got Oregon by a field goal more than me.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate it.
I'm calling an Oregon choke.
Ooh.
They
They
done
do it
many
yearly.
times.
Listen, I know they do it yearly. Dan Lanning came from underneath Kirby Smart. I think Dan pulls a Kirby over Nick Saban type joint. I think Dan beats Kirby.
Dog.
Yeah, but
I mean, Sarkisian
But
came
Quinn
from the
Ewers,
Saban tree.
though.
no, but Sark's a offensive head. Dan's not. Dan was
Texas
his DC.
defense can keep them in with Oregon.
Like, you have to think about
defense-
it. Think about it. Sark was the OC. Dan was Kirby's DC. Like, as a defensive coordinator going as the head coach, his focus is their defense.
Yeah.
And he just has an offensive coordinator calling plays.
How I view it is, I think a SEC team, one of the three is going to make the Natty. So I'm
Agreed.
kind of finding the one with the best route
Route.
to get there.
Agreed.
That was kind of where some of my pool came from. And I think Georgia can play with any of them. I really do. As long as they figure out the offense, whether that be Arch or Ewers gets his head out of his ass. Excuse my French. I think Texas can make some moves.
And
So.
don't discount Tennessee. If they beat Ohio
I was about to
State,
say.
I
Oh
can see
yeah.
them getting hot. So
Oh, dude, we're gonna have.
no,
It's gonna be a fun playoff.
No, listen, if that's a
excited.
Tennessee versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl, that game may be a shootout. That may be one of
It'll
them
be like
Pac-12
63 to
after dark games.
62.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's what I
know.
was thinking.
I
A
mean,
Pac-12 after
I don't
dark type game.
disagree. I think Tennessee's strength this year, though, has been more their defense than their offense. I think now, given the later half of the year, the offense has really been clicking. I think Nico is kind of starting to come into his own. But I think the majority of their success this year has stemmed mostly from their defense.
Nico
Yeah.
Iamaleava.
Because Nico was not clean for for the entire season. I think he had some growing pains. And I think you really saw that the first half of the season. But I think he has gotten better, and that's why they're in the playoffs right now. But I think that the strength of that Tennessee team is within their defense, which is one of the reasons I had them beating Ohio State this week. But yeah, I'm calling because everyone loves to roll the betting odds. I'm going against Vegas with my Texas Penn State pick. I think they both have the easiest route to the championship. And it's just James Franklin getting over the hump. And then you got with a injured
Not
QB in
happening.
Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's be real. This is
Shane
a
Beamer's won more big
stretch.
games than James Franklin.
I was about to say
Yeah.
this is a stretch. I'm kind of betting on Georgia's struggles at the QB position. Is really where
Yeah.
and I've seen Penn State in big games this year.
They've
They'll
stepped
fight
up.
to the end.
They're better than
They'll
they
fight
usually look.
Yeah, I was about to say the
so
same thing. They have looked better in the bigger games this year than they have. I mean, maybe
so
James
close to
Franklin's
how many
figuring
times
it
they
out, I
fit.
guess.
We'll see.
Um,
I feel like
Well,
it's
it's
James
only
Franklin
taken
or
like what,
Ryan
8
Day.
years?
One of them are going to get a
it was
big
like
game win
20.
sooner or later. It's like one of them is going to crack. Ryan Day or James Franklin. Which one's going to break through the mold? Or are they both going to suck and it's going to be hilarious? Who knows? But I think Oregon's
I
going
know
to crack.
Michigan fans are going to have a
And
field day with this one.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, if Ohio State loses, bro, and Michigan
And
fans are
Penn
gonna have
State.
a blast. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Penn, brother.
can't wait. It's so
Michigan
good.
fans will have a field day. Listen, last thing that I want to say, our first bowl game that has started bowl season, the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Memphis is up 28-14 on West Virginia. Right now with 50 seconds left to go to halftime. So listen, bowl season
Shout
is
out.
among us.
Hey, shout out Memphis, by the way. I've been dogging on
Yeah, Mario
G5
Anderson,
all
brother.
night.
Super Mario from South
But,
Carolina. Big Mario.
bro,
Appreciate him being a
them
Gamecock for a
uniforms
while.
are sick, dude. Them
Yeah,
uniforms are
man.
sick. So, dude,
Listen,
I'll give some love to a G5 school. I've been killing on them all night. Memphis is pretty sick.
yeah.
Tulane, I'll give y'all's flowers. And there's some cool G5 schools out there. Y'all ain't all dog water, but most of you are. So, yeah,
My bad, G5.
it is
My
what it
bad.
is. Make your
Yeah.
own league.
But anyways, listen, that's going to be it for tonight's episode 3 of the 2001 show. Listen, we appreciate um, if you tuned in live. If not, if you're going to watch on Facebook or on YouTube or go back through the Twitch vibe, listen, be sure again to like, subscribe, comment, leave us some comments on some things you want us to cover, talk about. Um, Listen, here soon we may be wanting to talk about adding some guests here soon. Um,
What's up?
that's something that we're wanting to do here soon. We may be jumping into the burnerverse and trying to get some people in here to give some takes or whatnot. But yeah, we have
We want fans of all teams.
all
All
teams,
teams.
all
We want
teams.
variety.
Yeah, we're wanting to expand and keep this thing rolling and going through, even in through the off season. We've got some ideas of some things we want to do and talk about. Um, but yeah, we're
We are not
excited.
just a football show. We are the South Carolina sports show.
110%. Listen, we, um We thank everybody again. We are the 2001 show, and we appreciate everybody. Peace.